Hey everybody, BarrenDome here. So my last video was about how I showed off my new statue, the Columbia statue from Bioshock Infinite. So I thought it'd be a perfect opportunity now to show you actually how I built it. So when I was deciding on what to build at my location, I was looking through several different things. I was looking through like statues, giant buildings, things like that. And I happened to stumble across this build on Planet Minecraft by Tiresh. It's the Monument Island from Bioshock Infinite. And they built the entire Monument Island, including the giant Columbia statue that you see in the background. And when I saw that, that's what I wanted to build. So I saw that. I didn't want to build the entire island. I just wanted the statue, and it's huge. So I'm gonna take you over there just so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So the statue is pretty huge. I mean, the whole thing, when they did this build, it's pretty much from 0 all the way up to build height. So I had to cut part of the statue off. You can see the base at the bottom right there. I did have to cut that off so it actually would fit ground level, which is about 62, and I built it all the way up to about 240. That way I could get the entire thing in. And the one that they built here is actually all solid gold blocks, but I just went with just the exterior. So my build is actually completely hollow on the inside, so I can build some things and add some things later in there. But I want to take you inside here because I want to show you a little bit of what I plan on adding in later. So this build is just very intricate. You can see that they really put some time into doing this entire build. And it closely matches actually what's from the video game. So they've got a lot of just different design structures in here. So up here is actually in the head of the statue, and this is the library that's from the video game where you first meet Elizabeth. So that's where Booker falls down through the shaft, and he actually falls down right down there, and then that's where he meets Elizabeth, and then they escape out the door that's right behind me. So it's kind of it's a recreation of that whole area. I didn't put in the giant, I have the hatch up there, but I put it closed. And then, they've got the clouds for the top up there. So I did recreate that, but the rest of my statue is completely hollow. So you're probably wondering how I got this statue on the 2B. I used two things. I used MCEdit to make a schematic of the statue, and then I used a mod for Forge. It's called Schematica, where it basically lays it out in real time kind of a thing, and you can place block by block where each of the blocks are to build it up as you go. So I'm not going to get into a whole tutorial on how to install MCEdit and all the different controls that go with it. Basically, I'm just going to show you what I did and kind of go from there. So I've got the Monument Island open in MCEdit, and basically what I'm going to want to do is just highlight just the structure, and I'm going to copy it as a schematic. So there we go. So basically what I do is I have to figure out 2 points where I need to highlight the entire thing. So I just did a left click, and now I'm trying to get the entire structure going down. If I was doing this for real, I'd be a bit more precise. So basically I'm trying to get the whole thing highlighted. You see that I just did a quick, tried to highlight it, but I cut off the arms. So what I need to do is I need to extend the box. So you see the box up there is the blue box. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to right click, and then down here is the nudge. I'm going to hold that, and I'm going to use the WASD keys, and I'm going to kind of extend it. Right click so I can move around. I can still cut off the fingers. So kind of what I'm doing right now is I'm just making sure I get the entire structure inside the box. And now I need to go up, so I'm using the space bar. That way I don't cut it all off. Just kind of going around making sure I've got as much as I can. Don't worry about that. It's kind of doing like a bleeding effect with the blocks, but that won't be rendered when we actually go through and do the whole process. Okay, so I've got the whole thing in the box right now. So now we need to click on copy. So this is going to take a copy of all the blocks within our selected area. And you see up at the top right now an area, this thing has popped up with what we've selected, and we're going to click save. And this is where we can click where we're going to save the schematic. So I'm just going to click, just leave it as it is, and we're going to click save. So now the schematic of just the structure has been created. So now we need to jump onto either a multiplayer world or even a single player world so I can show you how to now use Forge and Schematica to import this. So now I've got Forge loaded up with the Schematica mod, and I'm not going to show you how to do the installation of Forge or the Schematica mod or anything like that. There's plenty of videos online how to do that. I'm just going to once again show you what I did to just get it up and running. So I've got the Schematica loaded, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to press the divide key on the number pad, and what it does is it brings up a list of your schematics if you have them in the Schematica folder. So I'm going to just highlight the Columbia statue and click Done. Now what it's doing is it's just kind of populating it into the world, and I mean I can put it there, I can look over here and redo it again, different location. It all depends on which way you're looking when you do the installation, or you do the first time popping it in. Now maybe you don't like where it's at, we can go ahead and press the minus key on the number pad, and it bring up this kind of new menu where you can actually move it. So I'm going to bring it, I'm going to move it over more to the X, and it slides it over one by one, or you can go higher, lower, or you can move it by the Z. There's also over here where it lists out your materials of everything you'll need to build it, if you're going to build it exactly as the schematic has it. And then you also have the option of turning it off or on. So say you're like in the middle of the build. So let me show you, I'll get inside of it, because sometimes I was building and I couldn't quite see, like I'd be in here and I couldn't quite see where the next block was. And so sometimes I would have to turn it off and turn it back on to do the placing the blocks. So I'm going to show you what I was doing. So right now the schematics all gold blocks. So if you follow the schematic and you place a gold block, it will appear exactly as it's supposed to look. However, I use stone, and when I did that, it was making it red. So it's basically telling you, hey, you put the wrong block there. You might want to switch that. Or if you put a block in an airspace, it turns it purple. So that's kind of the different ways you can see things like that. And I'm going to go inside. So this, remember again, this whole schematic was a completely solid gold structure. And they actually had some tunnels in there where they used command blocks to do like the elevators and things like that. But all the way at the top, here's where the library was. So you can see it's got the bookcases and the ladders and things like that. And then you can go up here, and they've got the other area where the trapdoor would fall in when Booker walked over it. So I had this whole setup. Yep, so this whole structure, I don't know what it was completely filled in, but just the exterior blocks was about 50,000 blocks. And I placed those all by hand. So I know this video wasn't too much detailed in exactly what I did, but it gives you a general guideline on what you can do if you want to do this for yourself. If you want to, if you find a good Minecraft map that you want to, copy a build out of, get that schematic and then use Schematica to build it up yourself in a survival world. So, I mean, there's lots of videos on there that give a lot more detailed on, using MCEdit and then using Schematica, but those were the basic things. And I know there's a lot more other options out there that, that can help you do these builds, but that's the basics of what I did to do this build. So I'd recommend, go out there, look on Planet Minecraft. There's also Minecraft schematic only websites. Find something that you want to build, download the mods and try it out yourself and try to build, some things. Because, I can be, to build a structure this size in the amount of time that I did, the planning and everything like that, I just did not have the time for that. I wanted a pre-built statue that I could just build, and then I found it, and that's what I wanted to build. And I know some people are going to knock me that, oh, Barren, you're unoriginal. You didn't build this. You didn't design it yourself. I don't care. I think the statue's cool, and I wanted to build it in survival, so that's the way it is. So if you have any other kind of, generic or specific questions, leave them in the comments below. I'll ask them, or I'll answer them as best as I can. And if I don't have the direct answers, I'll look them up, some things on YouTube, and I'll try to give you the answers there. But once again, thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll catch you later. Bye.